Hello friends, welcome to Dave's Skillet. Today I got well, it's not on every plate this time, but I have some every plate ingredients left over. And you gotta use them for something, right? So what I'm gonna make is basically a chicken pot pie, only huge, big. Got celery, I'm gonna use one of these guys. And I got some carrots. I think about a half a dozen or so ought to do it. Oh, that just kind of glued itself shut. All right, cut that open. I'll get a half a dozen of these guys out. Exactly a half a dozen. Go figure. Huh? Maybe you can make it 8. That's 6. That's 8. Okay, we'll make it 8. And I have about a quarter of a medium-sized onion. I think I need more than that. I'm going to dice this up kind of small. You can make them any size you like because you're in charge of your kitchen. Bullseye. I know you can't see it, but it went right in. I do miss sometimes, just not very often. Okay, now for the celery guy. I think I'm just going to trim this down, get the ugly bits off of it. I'm going to slice this right down the middle, like that. One stalk should be enough, I think. You start putting too much in, it gets a bit crowdy in there. I got about 3 potatoes. They're not very big. They're leftovers from every plate. I would call them small, actually. And these guys I'm making bite size. About like that. Now, butter. There we go. I'd call that about a half a tablespoon. If there's anybody out there, measuring stuff, about a half a tablespoon. And then we'll saute this stuff up. Now, I need a tablespoon of this stuff. Tablespoon. Put that right in the water. I may need more of that, but I'm going to go with just one because I don't want to make this overly salty. So there's that. That's why. I'm not big on salt. Put that aside because I don't need this right now, but I will need this. 2 cups of water, making my own chicken broth. You can use chicken broth out of a can. You can do that if you desire to do it that way. I'll put this on the skillet. You're going to need about 2 tablespoons of flour. Don't need it just yet. We got to get that sauteed up and the chicken's got to get cooked before I put all that together. They sent this chicken with my last recipe with the chops, but I had chops of my own and I chose to use those because it was a chop dinner. They just, I don't know why they didn't give me chops, but they didn't. They gave me chicken. I'm like, okay, better wash this off. Got blood on it. It's got chicken blood on it. I need some bite-sized pieces out of this. So we're going to cut this down. There's 2 breasts here, back to back. I'm just cutting right through, not separating them. Well, it's just going to separate itself. Okay. All right then. All right, now just the pepper. I'll do the salt at the end, if any, just to see is it going to be needing it. I will most likely have to add more pepper. We'll see. I think I can turn that off. Okay, now. So we just move some of that all over here to half of the pan. And then we put the chicken in. Sticky. That's how I would declare that. Sticky. Gonna put some pepper on that chicken. See, I told you we'd be adding more. And that's why. Going to use the biscuits in a tube. I'm not going to make my own. I know, some people want me to make my own. This is going to be in a hurry. So I'm going to use these guys. That's what I'm going to use for the bread. Now, So I put a potato in there, about a medium size, about half the size of my fist. It's not put a whole lot in it, but just enough so you have like a taste of it. You want a taste of it. You don't want to be like so much that that's all you taste on anything. Now we're going to add 2 cups of chicken broth. Now, like I said, you can work out the chicken broth any way you like. 2 cups will be enough, at least for this pan. Otherwise, flood, which you don't want. Oh gosh, excuse me. I'm going to add a little more pepper, and I got to put this back until it starts to percolate a bit. Bring it to a simmer, and then it's going to have to go in the oven at 350 to 375 for about 45 minutes or less. You really have to eyeball what you're doing. You don't want to overdo it. Now that water was cold, so I have to wait for it to come up to temperature before I can do that. Meanwhile, I'll be back. I almost forgot. The flour. No matter. We'll get it in there. Here's one. As long as I get it in. That happens. You get that flour incorporated. Anyway, the water is still kind of cold, which is where I need it. Here, that pretty much dissolved almost instantly. Good. That's good. Real good. Now we're going to put it back on the hub. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'll be back. This chicken pot pie I'm making is a wintertime dish for me. And since today is the first day of snow, yes, it's snowing outside right now. Welcome to South Dakota. Well, that happens. Summer's over. Absolutely. Now we're going to put these in. It's cheaper to do it this way than to buy half a dozen pot pies. Just make your own. Plus, you don't have all those chemicals. You have some because that's okay. Well, that really cracked, didn't it? I like that. Look at that. That's got all kinds of buttery bits in it. So we just start putting these hockey pucks in the pan. I'm waiting for the stove to get up to speed. Yeah. Oh yeah, get over there. Yeah. And one in the middle. Don't worry. They'll spread out. They will. They will spread out. And I'm going to put this back on the hub, but the hub's off. I'm just waiting for the stove to hit temp, and then it goes inside the stove. I just don't want it to cool down too much. I'm lowering this down to 355. It's at 285 right now. So, shouldn't be long. I'll be back. And it's looking like it's ready to come out of the oven. Oh, looking like a blast of hot air in the face. Ugh. Ooh. Oop, oop. Too bad we don't have smell vision because, wow, they're done. It's almost reminding me of chicken and dumplings, but we're just on that teetery edge of chicken and dumplings or a chicken pot pie. Woo! You can go either way. I gotta let it cool down because it is really hot. And there's no way I could eat any bit of it, any part of it, currently. It would just melt my tongue. I don't want to do that. So I got to be really careful because cast iron is cast iron. When it's hot, it's really hot. Okay, I'll let it go like that. Get that out of the way so it doesn't melt from the heat of the handle. The heat of the handle could do some real damage. So I got to get something to scoop it out with. And there goes the timer in case you thought I was coming out early. Really not all that much. Not that early. We're pretty much right on point with it. I gotta get a different kind of scooperoonie. I got this one here, but then goodness can leak through that one. We'll see how it goes. I think the ladle's the best option. But I need a knife to do some cutting. Gosh, it smells really good. I just can't get over how good it smells. This is one of my winter kind of recipes. Yep. Winter is definitely a thing currently. At least here. I don't know where you live, but it's pretty dang cold out there. All this week it's been really cold. So we'll put that there. We'll scoop out some of that goodness. I suppose that's thick enough. I was worried that it wouldn't be very thick, but it actually, it is. I was thinking maybe I didn't put enough flour in there, but yeah, no, I did. I'm going to put the pan back on the stovetop on the hub, but I'm not going to turn the hub on, obviously. It's just to give me some room here so I can do some highlighting. I need a glove so I can get me some goodness. Some people put noodles, egg noodles in the mix, but I'm not going to do that. Up it goes. Whew. And there we go. There's my lunch for the day. And that's about all I can manage. I gotta see if I can get a taste out of it. I gotta be careful because it is really hot. Ooh. I was worried the potatoes wouldn't be cooked enough. They are. Even though I didn't fry them up with the rest of it, they're done. They're really done. Carrot's really done. I get some celery here too. Celery has a bit of crunch, but it is done. I got some onions this time, and some celery, and some chicken. I'm I'm getting slobbered. But it's okay. It's A-okay. And get a bit of this biscuit. Because after all, it's a pot pie. That's roasting. Okay, my friends. Like and subscribe. Comments down below. Hit the bell icon and you'll see what I'm going to make next. We'll see you then. Bon appetit.